said it twice, I hope you got it. I won't say it again. Talk to him. I got a podcast for that. Wanna talk business? I got contracts for that. Hey, 99 problems, got one answer for that. God, it's gonna work out. I drop gems just for that. Yeah, talk to him. I got a podcast for that.
God bless. You're now tuning into How You Holding Up, the podcast, and I am your host, BrooklynBoon. On today's episode, we have yet again another special guest, Joel Simmons, paramedic turned leadership pioneer and founder of Tenacious Foundation, LLC, transforms teams and leaders with battle-tested strategies from the front lines of crisis. With over 25 years as a lieutenant, pastor, firefighter, and emergency responder, Joel mentors youth and advises corporate giants, guiding them through disruption, disengagement, burnout, and workplace challenges to forge unshakable leadership. Man, Joel's crisis-honed insights empower organizations to thrive through uncertainty. Known for his high-energy delivery and practical tools, he inspires audiences to become resilient, unstoppable leaders. Welcome to the conversation, my brother.
Man,
yes, sir.
Boom, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Now, look, we have one more, and then on this next part, I would love for you to actually expound on it. The FIRE framework, which is a proven system to spark transformation that you implement on your dynamic speeches, coaching, and workshops. What are the abbreviations?
Okay, well, I like that. I appreciate that. Number one, man. So the FIRE framework was I was with my marketing consultant.
Okay.
And man, she just kind of like broke down the things that I had going on. And so she was like, this FIRE framework fits everything that you're doing. Mm-hmm. You know, it touches on what you do in the fire department and your fire services, the grit that you have to bear while you're there. And then it kind of touches on like what you've done as an assistant pastor and the caring, the concern that you've done with young people. So the F stands for focus.
Okay.
Right. And then it stands for ignite. Right. And then the R stands for resilience and the E stands for empowerment. And so through these different pillars, if you will, I teach like these different pieces of the curriculum to help people to build up their inner self. And that's what a lot of it comes down to, right? So we do one-on-one coaching, consulting, facilitation, workshops, and then also speeches. And my style is more of like a motivational style of speech, but nonetheless, when we need to get down to like the classroom facilitator, lecturer type of piece, I still do that. I just got a little bit of a higher energy.
Okay. That's awesome, man. Now, I want to start off with a few questions, right? This first one, where did you get your enthusiasm from? Was it hidden and realized, or was it created and trained? Because I've seen quite a few of your corporate work, right? With the recaps and the footage that you've allowed us to see through your posting on your website, on your social medias. You're very enthusiastic and very passionate about what you teach and how you go about teaching it.
That's good, man. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Once again, man, I appreciate the follows. I appreciate the love. I definitely see you there too. And I'm just grateful. So, man, I mean, I was riddled with a difficult time while I was a child. Very difficult. But I've always been, I was the only child growing up. And my closest siblings were aunties. That's the way it worked out for me. Right. So I was surrounded by women at every turn. And, I just went through some different phases. And before you know it, when it was time for me to kind of like realize who I was, it was just excitable. I just wanted to have fun. So that a little bit of that was from the youth age, but it wasn't until 2000, the year 2000 or 1999, at the very end of 1999, when I got the Holy Ghost, that's when, man, it was like new life. New life. It was like, okay, finally, I've gotten rid of the baggage of my old days. And I was just excited about life. And I think that was just all natural. It just comes up. It just bubbles up. It's like I never lost my youth.
So do you use that to exercise who you are in the everyday space, whether it be at home or in your work profession spaces?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I answer that in two different ways, because you said, do you use that? And so the answer to that, the short answer is yes. Yes, I do. Because I've I've come to a place where I understand the things that I'm doing are skills. I didn't know that before.
Right.
So I ended up researching. I ended up like going deeper into who I am. Like this whole journey into exactly who I am started about 5 years ago. But then when I began to realize there's a bunch of people who are unable to do what I do naturally. So then I began to understand, okay, this is a skill. I can turn it on, turn it off like a light switch. But it's natural for me to be kind of enthusiastic or to be very passionate. That's the way that I operate. It's like in me. Now, what you may not believe, but I'm sure you would, but what people may not believe is that I was actually an introvert for most of my life, right? And so there's a word like an omnivert, which is what I'm more of now in this day. I think that's what it is, because when I get into certain environments, I understand, okay, it's time for me to respond. It's time for me to be able to step up. It's time for me to ignite. Right. And so that's like part of what I teach people is how to get into that flow. Right. Some of my mentors, they taught me about igniting. And I kept hold of that because I realized that just because you can be down, you can be out, but that doesn't mean that you have to not walk in joy. Like joy is a different level. It's a higher level of just being able to walk in your oneness, your alignment, for me, with God, my alignment with God, being able to possess that joy and being able to give that joy and being able to let it just overflow. And it's like you have to turn off certain things mentally inside your mind. But what I ended up doing is I ended up going into my mind and, you know, sometimes you'll have like thoughts or you'll have situations and they're hampering down on you. And so what I learned how to do is to go in there and began to assess each and every last one of those things. Because at first I used to turn them off. You know, old ways of doing things would be drink away the pain, so to speak. But I just ended up just like, nah, let's not just turn it off. Let's actually fix it. And so I began to go through these different levers inside my mind to kind of like assess it. Okay, this is what I'm feeling right now. How do I deal with it? How do I move forward? All right, now here comes the joy. Turn it on. And so do I use it? That's how I use that. Is it natural? Yeah, man. Yeah, I just get happy. I just get joyful about things and it just shows up. And whenever it does, I feel like I can move mountains.
Now, you've mentioned quite a few things that captured my attention. First thing, out of the two, joy or happiness, which do you prefer?
So I prefer joy.
Why?
Because joy is like this internal feeling.
Okay.
And it's there even when things are not going well.
Okay.
I mean, I love happiness. I've been saying it. My mom tells me about all the time that ever since I was a kid, I've always said, I just want to be happy. And I do. I like to live a life of being happy. You know, it's a emotion, and emotions are signals, right? But joy is much more than that. It's deeper than that because it's like a reservoir, right? So it's a reservoir of, let's call it happiness. Well, that would be a reservoir of happiness. You can always pull from it. You can always drink from it. It's always there. But happiness, yes,
sir.
You can amplify it.
Yes,
but
sir.
happiness is like, it's fleeting, man.
Yes, sir. Comes and goes.
It's like, it's an external thing. Like somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to, you know, you got to watch a movie, something like that. That's got to happen. So it triggers happiness. But I'm not into that, man. I'm not looking for the trigger. No, man. I want it to be on the inside. So if I'm looking like, you know, just straight face and I'm just off and thinking about things, it's still flowing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. See, now y'all witnessed that enthusiasm I was talking about. You see how joyful he got there? That's what I'm talking about. A second part, man, to your expression and explanation on the original question, you said about 5 years ago, you started diving in and learning who you really are. How'd you get to that point? What brought you to that point of, you know what? I don't think this is who God intended for me to be. No matter if it was something that you were going through that brought you to that point to where I gotta self-reflect, and I need to find out who my identity in Christ is. How'd you get to that point, and what has brought you to who we know as Mr. Joel Simmons, founder of Tenacity LLC?
That one right there comes with some baggage.
Listen, man, we first class.
We first class, man.
Yeah.
We first class.
We check those in free.
That's it. That's it. So the story behind that, and this is where the R comes in, resilience, right? So I suffered a painful relationship, extremely painful. And I don't mind talking about it. I don't talk about it as frequently anymore because I've overcome it in such a great way, you know.
So give us the short form.
The short form, man, is relationship nearly killed me, or at least it felt like it at a moment. There was one moment, one split second where I was like, I don't know if I even want to live, right? And so I expressed that, and I expressed it to an individual, and they told me, you should go see somebody about that. And that triggered me. Yeah, this is not what God has done for me. You know, I've been 20 years walking with the Lord. That ain't it. That ain't it. And this individual is not the one who is able to help me through it. So for a moment, I may have wanted it to be them because I desired that relationship, but I just could see all the relationships were kind of falling. So I ended up I actually went through 6 months of depression, and I fought my way through every single day. Every day I fought. Man, I'm talking about, I did every single thing that an individual could do. I spoke with people that I believed were wiser than me and could instruct me. I sought out counsel. I went to work every single day the pandemic happened. I went to work every day. I went overboard to keep my mind focused. And then when I was in my own time, I prayed, I meditated, right? I approached the people that I was having difficulty with and tried to reason with each other. And it took me 6 months. And the day that I came out, I broke out of that thing. That's when I'll share just a little bit of how that happened. I was laying down. I might have been awake or I might have been asleep. I can't tell. I don't remember. But I was there, and I recall being in my bed, pitch black dark, the whole room, pitch black dark. And I'm sitting there in the bed in this pitch black darkness, and I began to think about everything that's just happened, how low I am. I haven't been this low in 25 years of my life, since I was a kid and I suffered from depression. I had never been there. That's how I knew exactly what it was I was going through. And so right then and there, I'm like, yo, this is my room. It doesn't matter if it's dark in here. It's my room. So I got up and I just kind of like shuffled my way to what would have been the window. And when I got to it, it was boarded up. I ripped the boards off. And the light started to crack through, and I just pulled everything back and I opened it up, and sunlight came in. Man, it was like noonday, and the breeze was coming through, and the rays started to land on me, and I felt this warmth that just came over my body. I was like, there's more. And I went to the door. I had stuffed sheets underneath the door. Every single window was boarded. Man, I ripped every board down, pulled every sheet off the window, took the stuff from underneath the door, and I opened up the door, and the wind came from the window through the door, and the breeze just lifted up, and it smelled like life inside of the room. And I walked out. And then either I woke up or I got up. I don't remember. Can't tell you. But that's when I realized 3 things. I can't make another individual do anything. I can't make them change. I can change myself. And whatever is in between there, I can let it go. And that's how I started operating my life. That was the birth of the new Joel. That was the journey, me starting. I felt like I had to go through hell. It was like, if you could imagine, maybe Jonah might have been feeling that in the belly of the well. And when he just finally submits and realizes all he has to do is just say, okay, I'll go. And he ends up on the beach side, ready to work. That's how I was. And it's been on ever since then.
That was a breakthrough.
That was a breakthrough.
You ripping them boards off that window like that, and you feeling the breeze and you seeing that sunlight. That's a breakthrough. And you broke through. And with resilience and the tenacity, you're still breaking through. And not only that, you had to go through it. So now you can help others get through that. Man, I've been reading the book of Job for the past 3 days, right? And when you said that you sought out counsel, but somebody said, oh, you need to go, talk to somebody, and you realize that that person wasn't for you. Job's friends had responses similar, right? They weren't empathetic, or they didn't show any compassion for what it is that he was going through. And I also want to add this. A lot of people say, I don't believe in the Bible because it was written by man, et cetera, et cetera. If only they cracked open that Bible and asked the Heavenly Father for wisdom, they would see themselves in many of stories in the Bible. And I want to ask you, I was going to ask you this later on, but there's always a breaking point. With all that being said, man, how you holding up?
Man, I'm doing well. I appreciate you asking me about that. Dealing with challenges every day. And really reframing it to opportunities. I'm holding up really well. I feel good about what's going on in my life currently. I feel like I'm doing the right things, so I'm holding up well. Brother, how are you holding up?
Man, I'm phenomenally, exceptionally well, man. God is good even when circumstances aren't. Man, I'm like you. When you seen and felt that breeze and that sunlight through, that song, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
Yeah.
I've been in a season of, what am I to do? Why is this happening? Or what is it, Lord, that you want me to take from this? And I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I see the sunlight over there. I feel the moisture in the air from the humidity, not the rain, but the humidity from the afterdew that was taking place. So, man, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man. Now, I had the privilege of having you as a keynote speaker on the mental health panel for How You Holding Up, the showcase. Now, although you weren't physically in attendance, you filmed a pre-recorded video, which I think was incredible. And here's why, right? It created a different aesthetic and dynamic for the event, but more importantly, the reason for your absence, but your presence. Tell us about that.
Which part?
Why you weren't in attendance, why you weren't able to be in attendance during the showcase physically, but where your presence was when you created that film for us.
Okay, that's a good question. So when I broke free, right? That was 4.5 years ago, right? It was right around June of 2020. That's when it was. I started to build. I didn't know what I was building. I just started build anything that will help somebody else break free. That's it. Freedom. People can get freedom from this. I'm going to do it, whatever that is. People start asking me to go speak, do all these different things. A brother asked me, Michael Seville, shout out to Michael Seville. He asked me to come and co-host with him and we started the community beacon. And I realized he had some assistance in what he was doing. He was building a very successful business, right, in real estate, Palm Beach Mike. And so I was like, well, how are you getting all this stuff done? He said, well, I got an assistant. I got a virtual assistant. I was like, well, how do I get one? And he sent me this little web link.
Okay.
So I went on the web link and I found somebody. Her name is Anna Gard.
Okay. Is she still present in your ministry and everything that you're doing?
She's still present in my life.
Beautiful. Shout out to you.
Yeah. Shout out to Anna Gard. She actually, the last time I spoke with her, she said, I don't know if you remember, but to me, you're like a father to me.
Wow.
Yeah. She has her own story, Yeah. But nonetheless, she was seeing some of the stuff that I was doing in the community with young people and with people and everything. And she was like, we need this here in the Philippines. And I said, Anna, we're going to do it. We're going to bring Tenacity Foundation to the Philippines. We will do it. And so it just so happened 4 years later, I got a plane ticket. I'm going to the Philippines.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do it.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do it right now. And I thank God to all of the supporters and everybody that helped and poured in because we went to the Philippines. We met up. I got a guy over there. His name is Jomer Armamento. And I said, this is what I need you to do. I need you to set up people for us to meet. He got us into an orphanage, wrote all the papers, all the documents, signed them all. I said, you sign, you're the ambassador. And then we went and we spoke with some young people. It's probably about 50 people all together, and young people and adults over the course of 3 days. It was over 150 people that we spoke with. And he set all of that stuff up, and she showed up. Anna showed up.
Wow.
And she sat, when she got there, she gave me this big hug. She left her husband. Her husband went and sat on the other side of the table. Kevin, I love that guy. And she sat right next to me and she held my hand. She was just so glad to be with me. And you could just tell. And it was like, this is like my daughter right here. It's like my daughter. I mean, she's old enough to be my daughter, and it was amazing that we were able to actually do it. And it just goes to show you, when you set a vision large enough, big enough, and you focus on the plan, you get your mind clear, you focus on that plan, you can absolutely achieve anything that you set your mind to.
What you're saying, the last part of that fire framework, you really live it. You really apply it to your own life.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now, most people know what they do, but barely ever why they do it. Why do you do it? Why do you do what you do?
That's always a good question. Why is real big. So, I mean, I know you understand my first why, if you will, because I needed that.
Yeah.
The challenge, when you look and you begin to feel like you're all alone in a room full of people that love you, that's a heavy hit.
Yeah.
It's a heavy hit.
Yeah.
And I empathize with people that are in that situation, that are in that seat, because I understand it from my perspective, because that's how I felt for 6 months, that I am in this seat. I'm in the room. You ever heard when somebody said, I'm right here? When people are talking about somebody else, they're like, I'm right here. Like, I'm in the room with you. It's like, yeah, I understand. That's how I felt. I'm in the room. You don't see me? This was something that I had to work through. That didn't just end in 6 months. We had to have more and more conversations with other people that was a part of that, until we were able to finally break through with each and every single one of those individuals, until we got complete clarity. So that was my number one why, was get myself sane. I need to clear my mind. I need to be able to move. And then gradually, when I could get out of that, when I could actually be me, the authentic 100%, I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you think I look like, how I smell, anything. I don't care. When I got there, man, I'm like, this is who I am. You know, because I'm living this life. Oh, this is the firefighter Joel. This is the preacher Joel. This is the father Joel. This is the husband Joel. This is the friend Joel. And all of them had these different intricacies that I had to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want none of that stuff. I just want to be one man.
Mm-hmm.
Just one.
Just one.
And when I got there to that one man, I understood. And from that point, the other things began to show up. Like my mother. Look at all the work that she has done to get me where I'm at. Never forget her. Never forget her. My past leader, Daddy Madison, you know, that man did something for me. He gave me a chance when he never had to. He taught me to read my Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He took the time to father me when I just didn't have nobody else, man. The reason why I became a fireman, I wanted to go into the fire department and I would go and talk with people. They said, you know, why would you do something like that? I called him up. I was like, that's what I like to do. He said, go for it. Go do it. You know, it just meant so much. He took me in the house, fed my daughter, you know, something to eat, and sat down with me and broke bread with me and talked with me real life. Not to mention the way that he treated his wife. He loved her so much. He was an excellent example to me of how a man should treat his woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was just, you just couldn't, the way that that man operated was so sweet, so kind, so high level. And so all of those things began to matter to me. And then my children. I needed to win for my children. I need to win for my wife. You know, it empowers me. My son, what was the last thing that came up? I think it was my birthday. I got the card inside a drawer because he wrote inside the car something like, keep chasing your dreams, Dad. You're going to get it. Don't let anything stop you from getting exactly what you want. You deserve all of it. It's like, these are the seeds I placed in him.
Mm-hmm.
But he wrote it to me. You know.
You reaping what you sowed.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's do another question.
How do you balance being a full-time entrepreneur and a family man? You just mentioned so many great people, and they are family, whether by blood or whether by circumstance, right? Body of Christ. How do you balance being a full-time entrepreneur and a man first, a husband, a father, a brother, and a son?
Yeah. Yeah, that's important.
Being the same person, because you broke free of all these people who you had to cater to.
Yeah.
But now the new Joel Simmons.
Yeah. And just to be clear, you know, I thought I was catering to people, but I realized I'm just wearing masks.
Gotcha.
I'm really just catering to myself. So I just want to be clear on that, because if anybody sees this, I would love for them to understand that whenever you put a mask on, the only person you're affecting is yourself. Mm-hmm. You're going to wake up one day without your mask on with a relationship, and they will not know who you are. Mm-hmm. And that will always be fractured from that day forward. So stay honest, stay authentic. It goes much further. People know what they're getting, and you know what you're giving. So how do I do it? Every day be God's son. Every day, all the way, every way. just in everything that I do. I don't got to tell you. I don't got to tell nobody. I just live it. Just live the life to the best of my ability. Imperfectly perfect. Right? So it's not for me to say whether or not I'm perfect, but I'm going to live imperfectly perfect. The best that I can do to be what I believe he wants me to be, that's what I'm going to be. Just like that. And I'm going to do it freely. And then as far as being the man, this is the man that I am. So I'm going to be that every day. But I'm going to be it with confidence, right? Authentically, with confidence. I'm going to ignite my own strengths. I'm powerful. That's who I'm going to be. That's who I am. It's not even going to be. It's who I am. And what drives me to become something greater, I think it was Matthew McConaughey.
Cool guy. Good actor.
He was asked a question one day, and I saw an interview, and I just love his answer. He said somebody asked him, who his hero is, who his idol is. And he thought about it. He said, me in 10 years. And that individual ended up seeing him again in 10 years, and they remembered the question. So they asked him again. He said, well, it's been 10 years. Have you met your hero? He said, no, because my hero is me in 10 years from now. So just like always growing. I love that answer because it's like, it's me always becoming a greater me, no matter what I become, always becoming a greater me. And so all of these traits and this character of mine, it just travels into our relationship.
Yeah.
I act the same way with my kids. I act just like this with my wife. I act like this with my pastor. I act like this with people that I'm just meeting. Sometimes they see a little more reserved me because we're in the meeting phase. We're just getting to know each other, but it don't take long. It don't take long. I mean, when I first met you saw how I am.
Yeah.
I should ask you, is there something different?
No, man. I think as people, we have to analyze and observe first a person, the surroundings, and then, like you mentioned earlier in the conversation, that omnivert, right? So I see you fully, and like you said, it didn't take long because we met on a Zoom call for a charity that we both participated in, and before you know it, oh, I'm all right, and you was just out there, and you've been consistent with who you are since. So yeah, I vouch for everything that you're saying. I attest to what you're saying. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I feel the same way about you.
Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah, I feel like I know exactly who I'm speaking with.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know
sir.
that there's intricacies that we have to learn about each other at all times, and I'm always open. I just have a free mind, if you will. I think that was one of the most difficult or the most challenging things that I had to undertake when I developed this free mindset, especially with my children, because I came up believing that, your children are supposed to act a certain way, do a certain thing, believe a certain thing. It's like, okay, I want to help gear you to go in this direction. But now I've got this free mindset where you need to be able to make your own choices, kind of like chart your own path. And expressing that inside my household rocked my household in a huge way. And so I had to learn how to operate in that freedom and still be able to deliver the message of kind of who we are, as Simmons, if you will, or as people, or as this household, who we are, who I vision us being.
Right.
And so everybody's got their own way of seeing and doing things, but releasing that pressure of puppet master over my children, it was a challenge. It was a challenge. And there was some times where me and my wife kind of bumped heads because I'm like, nope, they got to make their own decisions. So it just became more of guidance, coaching, planting seeds at opportune times, being that individual who wakes up in the morning and speaks with your child and is like, man, you're going to do a great thing today. And they're groggy, but I instill that positivity, that forecast of greatness, right? Just planting those seeds and doing that with my wife as well. And then allowing the seeds to actually grow on their time, being patient. It's work.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We can't control people. And you mentioned that earlier, right? When you said, I can't control people and I need to let people be who they are because I'm going to be who I am, right? I think a lot of us have issues with control. That comes with pride. That comes with insecurity. It comes with a number of things. I've been that way. And after doing the work and still doing the work, shedding off what was into who is, I realized that I picked up a lot of habits that were learned from environments and atmospheres that I was in. And because I didn't know my identity, I didn't know who I was supposed to be, it latched onto me. So now when you come to a realization of, yo, why am I like this? I don't want to be like this. Why am I getting upset about this? Why am I responding and reacting to this way? You do that work. And God put you in situations where it's like, okay, let me show you something. And then you start self-reflecting. Then you realize the behaviors of people who you were surrounded with, whether it be family, friends, strangers, neighbors, coworkers. And you realize, oh man, I picked up this from that person. I picked up this from that person. They were hurt in this season in their life. And they told me based off their hurt. Now I'm reacting like that because they hurt. And now I'm picking up what they was putting down, and I didn't have to because I didn't experience that hurt. I didn't experience that pain that they went through. So it's like now, man, it's tough. I gotta get that off me. So now you're doing additional work, and now you're like, oh, this is who I am. And like you said earlier, that hampering feeling, it's like, man, get off me. You don't even belong here, right? But it's only after going through a number of things where you learn. That's why scripture for me is very important. You know who you are when you know whose you are. And that's a very popular term these days, but it's true, right? And I encourage you guys, if you're watching it and listening, take the time and read the Bible. Ask God for guidance because he will. He gives wisdom to those freely without fault. So it's not your fault. It's not our fault that we come to him later on in life or early. Wherever you're listening to the sound of my voice, he meets you where you are. But that's not to take advantage of who he is, right? But when you know better, you do better. Let's keep it going. Let's keep this going.
I hope someone heard that. That was deep. That was real.
I hope
good, so, man.
We're going to timestamp that, right? Yeah. And I would never tell anybody anything that I haven't witnessed personally, or vicariously through someone else, but more so personally, right? And this is where we are. This is why How You Holding Up is what it is, you know? Man, so in addition to being the creator and host of How You Holding Up, the podcast, I am also a music artist, for those of you guys who don't know, who may or may not know. All my music stems from personal experiences. But this segment, Mr. Simmons, I'll be asking you questions based off the titles of my released music. Ready?
Okay.
Let's do it. So, at what point did you realize you came a long way?
At what point did I realize I came a long way?
You mentioned Matthew McConaughey say, in 10 years, ask me and I'll tell you about my hero, right? So he realized where he came. But for you, Joel Simmons, impactor, fire frame worker, pastor, entrepreneur, family man.
Yeah, so the first time was in 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, I realized I had come a long way, and I was in such a short period of time, because I was actually locked up in 1999, and I made some heavy changes between early 99 up until late 99. And then in 2000 I became a preacher. And I was like, I've come a long way. I've come a long way. That was like 7 years of 7 years of hell that I was going through. But the difference there was I didn't realize I was going through hell because I liked it. I liked it. So I didn't realize that that's where I was. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Pride of life, lust of the eye, lust of the flesh.
Yes, sir.
So I was like trying to live it more and more. And I did have some miserable days, but I always looked at the days that I called really good. So that was the first time. Then it was like the next milestone would have been in 2010.
Okay.
When I became a firefighter in 2006, 2007, but it was 2010 when I actually became a lieutenant. And I was like, oh, snap.
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
appreciate it. And that one was a little bit more challenging, but I remember it was pretty impactful. And then 2020, when I went through that period of depression, I realized that I had everything that I need at the end of that period. Like I got everything I need. In the beginning of it, I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, look where I come from. How could I, did I stumble backwards? What did I do? What's going on? And at the end of it, it was like, you got everything you need, man. Everything. Break out of that. Just go. And so, like, I realized, okay, yeah.
Came a long way. Yes, sir.
And then the last time.
The most recent time.
Yeah. Is back to your question earlier when you were asking me about where I was when I recorded that video that was for your program, when we were talking about talk to him and how you're holding up, and you were down in the cave and you had me there. I was in the streets of the Philippines and it just hit me.
It was flowing.
Yo, can you see what you just did?
Yeah.
You literally put on a mission trip. You didn't
4.5 years ago. Yeah.
You didn't go to this place. You didn't go to that place. You didn't go to that place. You just said you was going to do something. You rose up and you did it.
Yeah.
You saw that there was a need and you filled it. God did this with you, with your body, with your resources, with your connection, and all these people, they helped do this. That's it. You doing something, man. You doing something.
Yeah.
And it's like, it hit me. It's like, man, you done come a long way.
Ooh-wee. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. So now I'm going to throw these out rapidly, right?
Ooh.
So now we got some more song titles though. So look, this next one it's an unreleased song, but it's coming up, right?
Okay.
If you knew better, what would you have done better?
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
If you knew better, what would you have done better?
Yes, sir.
If I knew better, I would have learned some of this stuff earlier. Okay, so that's a trick question.
Because you wouldn't change anything. Because
if I change anything, then I wouldn't be who I am.
It distorts your future.
So there's an opportunity for me not to be who I am right now if anything changed.
Right.
So I don't know that I would change anything.
But
if I could speak to somebody who is my age, then I would definitely advise them to know yourself. Pick your path, know yourself, find a positive outlook, and then go after it.
We're gonna come back to that. And what way has God shown you that He's on time How much does faith in Jesus Christ determine the way you live personally and professionally? Because God is an on-time God, right? Whether we want to believe it or acknowledge it or not, but he's always on time.
Everything, everywhere, every way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right now.
Yes, sir.
Right now. Every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing, everywhere, every single way. I tell people my address. You want to know where I live? I live at Romans 8:28.
Yes, sir.
Because my belief is that all things work together for
Mm-hmm.
good for them that love the name of the Lord and are called according to his purpose.
Yes, sir.
So everything, I believe that the reason why I can tie my shoes is because the Lord was there for me.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So it's like, I never minimize them.
Yes, sir.
Never.
Ooh, yes.
Always maximize.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people, they are looking for some big thing. Man, you better count your many blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Name them one by one. Count your many blessings and see what the Lord has done.
Mm-hmm. What are y'all waiting on? Count y'all blessings, like write them down and do what the man said. No, because sometimes that's not sometimes. A lot of times that's overlooked, right? The fact that for those of us who can independently walk or breathe, aside from medical devices and things of that nature, we take that for granted, man. So I definitely understand and I agree with that, right? This next one.
Yeah, and let me say this.
Yes, sir, please do.
And with the medical devices,
still capable, more than able.
Come on,
yes, sir.
brother.
Yes, sir.
So you don't have a foot.
Yeah.
Let's go. You ain't got an arm. Let's go.
Yeah.
Come hopping.
Mm-hmm. And forgive me. I didn't mean to, leave anyone out. So thank you for that.
No, it's not. I just wanted to think.
Yeah.
I got a close friend right now, man. We just went through a revival and he came out of that thing like new creature.
Mm.
And I'm just so grateful for him.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for him. I won't shout his name out, but I'm so grateful for him because what he gained, he came out, and I'm gonna tell you this,
yeah,
man.
Please do.
All right, so we are walking out of the sanctuary, man. Had this great revival. We walking out of the sanctuary. They said, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And he's like, "Oh man, I'm doing well." He said, "Man, the doctor told me that my heart's about to go kaput. They can't do anything else with it, and so I guess we just keep on moving." And I was like, "Yo, did you realize what you just said?"
Mm-hmm. Keep on moving.
I said, "Do you hear the tone? Do you hear the cadence? Do you hear what you said? You just told me that your heart is about to stop. The doctors can't do anything with it." And you said it like everything is okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ooh,
yes, sir.
That's faith.
Yes, sir.
People think, who was that? Bob Proctor. He was talking about it one time. He said people think prayer is when you bow your knees and you start praying. He said, but prayer is what happens in between prayer.
That was good.
Prayer is what happens in between prayer.
That was good. Yeah.
Gosh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Praise God for that brother that came out like that unintentionally, but intentionally knowing that everything gonna be okay.
Yeah, man.
That revival must have been something, man.
That revival was something.
Wow.
To shift the mind like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, you're the founder of Tenacity Foundation, LLC, correct?
LLC. We are migrating.
Okay. With the year 2025 coming to an end, share with us a single or a few moments that you've displayed tenacity this year.
A single,
or if there were multiple moments of tenacity that you've displayed.
Yeah, I think tenacity is part of my life.
Okay.
So there was an occasion when I actually was seeking out my own. What are the things that I am the best at? What is it that makes me so unique? And tenacity was one of those things. I mean, I was sitting there praying about it, everything. I wanted to hear from the Lord, like what makes me this unique individual.
Okay.
Tenacity is one of the things that came up. And because that came up, eventually I ended up with a business called Tenacity. This goes back like 10 years, 15 years ago when I was praying that prayer. And so I am very tenacious in everything that I do. I like to call the definition out as I know it's not stubbornness, but I like to use that word. It's like being stubbornly forward about something positive. That's the way I like to frame it. Stubborn is not really the right word for tenacity. But
we can say steadfast.
You can say steadfast.
Yeah,
you can say unmovable. That all represents tenacity.
Yeah.
But I just love the grittiness of stubbornness.
Okay.
You know, because it just feels very earthy.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very earthy and it feels very human to me. You know, but tenacity is definitely that uplooking, positive viewpoint. But nonetheless, it's like, I just keep going, man. I keep getting up. I'm resilient. I know that you're very persistent.
Yes, sir.
You know, and those are all signs of being tenacious.
Yeah.
You know, just not allowing for the things that would knock you down to knock you down. And in the words of Les Brown, if you get knocked down, if you fall down, see if you can land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
Right.
You know, and so I take that to heart. I believe I can get up from every single blow.
Okay. Before we go, provide us all with an encouraging word and testimony. This is your chance to talk to him.
So, like I said before, if I had to give an encouraging word, I would go right back to Romans, right? 8:28. Another one that I would mention is going to be Proverbs chapter 3.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Proverbs chapter 3, going down to like the 5th verse. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding, but acknowledge him in all your ways and he shall direct your path. And the thing that I've learned about that is that you got to trust in God first. So sometimes we're going through situations and we want to figure it out for ourselves.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, if you believe, 1 John chapter 4, verse 4, greater is he that's in you than he was in the world. So if you believe that he's in you, then you already have the greatest thing that you could ever need. You have all the answers. You have everything you need. There's a chance that you have not leaned into it. So in order for you to do that, you have to trust in God. You know, and one of my leaders, he said one day, he said, this is how you do it. You pray to God openly, not necessarily in front of everybody, but just open prayer, right? Not some clothed prayer with all these beautiful words. No, just talk to the Lord. And when you do that, he may give you a thought. When you get that thought, you act on it immediately. And while you're working, life will begin to change for you. Things will begin to happen. Doors will begin to open, and he may give you another thought. Act on it. And then walls will begin to come down.
Yeah.
Changes will begin to happen. This is manifestation happening right now. Yeah. Many times what we end up doing is we don't trust that that is actually happening, or that that word came from him, or that that inspiration is from him. And so what we end up doing is we begin to lean on our own understanding and try to figure out what we can't figure out. So trust. Don't lean on your own understanding. Just do it like Nike. Just do it. And then acknowledge, Lord, this is you in every single thing that you do. And whatever it was that you set your mind to do in the beginning, he'll bring it to pass. That's what that scripture means inside my heart. And that's how I live my life day to day.
If you guys weren't inspired to go read that verse and to actually live that verse according to the suggestion and encouragement that Mr. Joel Simmons just gave to us all, you're doing something wrong. I want to say thank you, man.
Man, appreciate you, man.
I want to say thank you, man. This has been an incredible conversation. It's always good to be on the other side of speaking. And I want to say this before we go. I say that because, again, I was continuing to read the book of Job earlier this morning. And I actually made a post saying that as I was praying to the Lord, man, I said, may you give me a listening ear before I provide a speaking mouth, because we talk before we listen and discern and also receive what a person is saying. So it's so incredible to receive wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as you have given us all, man, in this interview, in this episode, in this conversation, man. So I thank you. And man, before you go, is there anything that the people should be on the lookout for? Any upcoming events or plans that you care to share that are in fruition or that are in the works?
And first off, I'd just like to tell you I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, you're a solid guy.
Yes, sir.
You're solid. You don't change. You don't go from day to day. Now, I'm sure that you're always making adjustments to make yourself the best individual that you can be with inside you, but you show up, man. And when you show up, I know exactly who I'm talking with. You're a very humble individual, man. And I definitely appreciate you. And I thank you for the words that you just gave me. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To answer your question, you guys can check me out on jsimmons.tenacity on IG. There's a program that's coming up soon at the end of this month. I think it's on the 29th. That's going to be with Miranda Walker. Okay. It's the Miranda Walker Breakthrough Experience. So I'll be a panelist there.
Nice.
BrooklynBoon and I have been talking about doing something coming up in the new year.
Yes,
so
sir.
You guys got to stay tuned for that. And we still have a few other events that are still out, but they're a little bit far out. So stay tuned. Check me out on jsimmons.tenacity. You'll see it there first on IG, or you can go and look me up on LinkedIn and you'll find what I'm getting ready to do there as well.
Oh, and one more thing. Can you just inform the viewers of some of the services that you provide? Because I believe that everyone could use a bit of tenacity in their life.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So we do one-to-one coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's what you're looking for, I consider it to be leadership coaching, but I have the ability to help you with many things. Then we do business-to-business consulting, right? And we do facilitating and workshops as well as speeches. So that's what we do on the business side, the LLC side.
Okay.
On the 501c3 side, we're working with young people from here to the Philippines. So we'd love to be able to collaborate with people. All you got to do is DM me and we can talk about collaborations.
Beautiful. And for those of you guys who don't know what 501c3 is, that is nonprofit organizations and charities. Okay. Man, just on the outro, just reintroduce who you are one more time for the people.
Yes, sir. I'm Joel Simmons. I'm a firefighter, paramedic. Actually, I just resigned, so I am free from that. I am. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I am an assistant pastor, father. I'm a husband. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a multi-preneur actually, and I also work with. Besides Tenacity Foundation, Keys for Life, and the Federation of Families. And right now, I am the guest on How You Holding Up. And I appreciate that too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, once again, guys, you have now tuned in to How You Holding Up, the podcast. And I am your host, BrooklynBoon. Until next time, make sure you ask someone. And I'm going to ask you, how you holding up? Be blessed. Do well. Yeah. Oh, man.
Appreciate you, man.
I said it twice, I hope you got it. I won't say it again. Talk to him. I got a podcast for that. Wanna talk business? I got contracts for that. Hey, 99 problems, got one answer for that. God, it's gonna work out. I drop gems just for that. Yeah, talk to him. I got a podcast for that. Wanna talk business?